let them have a little avodah zarah, an idol in their pocket. You can trap the Jews through sex. Who gave Balak that advice? Bilam. And that's what cost him his life.
And now he come back to the make money, and he killed the 4 camels.
That's it. Okay, let's go on a little bit further. The Apterov. The Apterov was a Hasidic Jew who believed very strongly in Ahavas Yisrael, the love of Israel. He was a big believer. He felt that in every single parsha you could find examples of Ahavas Yisrael. He brings out a story here that he was once in a big debate with one of the movements called the Maskilim. 150 years ago, 200 years ago, as Reformed Judaism was becoming more powerful, they became known as the Maskilim, enlightened ones, not religious. And they used to debate with the Hasidic Jews and the religious Jews. And he was in a big debate with a whole group of these Maskilim, thugs, but they were Jewish, but they didn't believe in Judaism. Finally, one of these Maskilim pulled out a cigarette, and the Apterov went into his pocket and took a match and lit the cigarette. And then this particular guy says, let's enough with this already. We're not going to convince this guy of anything. Let's just get out of here. And they left. So as Hasidim says, they were in the middle. We thought it was going to be a fight. They thought they were going to throw punches. And all of a sudden, they turned around, they left. He says, because when you do a chesed, a kind thing, it melts the heart of anybody. He says, here, these people were not religious, and they were coming to convince you and attack you and everything else. I lit his cigarette, his whole heart changed. He says, you need to understand that Ahavas Yisrael, when you show love for another Jew, it changes the way they act. And when you show love for another Jew, that change happens no matter what. Okay, Bilam decides to go. Hashem wants to send one more message to him, so his donkey starts talking. Right?
Why?
Some people say the donkey was more than a donkey, you had an intimate relationship with him. Why? Why was it an animal that spoke to Bilam? And the Gemara says that the mouth of this animal was created from Sheshit Yemei Bereshit, from creation already. I mean, this was already for thousands of years ready for this moment. Why was it necessary? So the Kli Yakar says a very interesting answer. He says, Hashem wanted to send Bilam a message. You think you're so special. Why do you think you're so special? Because God talks to you. He said, well, I got a news flash for you. I also talk to donkeys. Meaning, Bilam looks around the room and he says, I'm better than everybody in the room. You know why? God talks to me, I talk to God. I'm a Navi. So Hashem needed to bring him down to reality. Hashem wanted to say to him, you're not so special. I talk to you, yes, but I can talk to anybody, even a donkey, even an animal. So you're no different than an animal unless you act differently. That's what the Kli Yakar says. The Sipuro says a little bit different. The Sipuro says that Hashem created such a miracle that Bilam should stop for a moment and say, whoa, whoever heard of an animal talking? If Hashem created such a miracle and I witnessed such a miracle, it can only be for one reason. I need to think what I'm doing, and maybe he will be Choser B'Tshuva. Okay? Understand what that means. A person goes through life, and sometimes there are small things that happen to you that, I give you an example, you're driving a car. I mean, I've had this. I'm driving a car, I'm at a green light. All of a sudden I'm at a red light, I'm stopped. The light turns green. It happened to me a few weeks ago. The light turns green. I'm about to go, really about to go. And most of the time I'm in a hurry, so when the light turns green already, when I see on the other side it's already turning red, I know it's going to turn green, I'm already shooting out. For one reason or the other, I was distracted, I didn't shoot out. Literally, as I'm about to go, this truck goes right through the red light. Misses me maybe by 6 inches.
When? Today?
No, it was a few weeks ago.
Wow.
Wow.
Really?
Yeah, you got to stop for a moment, and you got to say to yourself,
Baruch Shazan is in this.
yeah, you know.
Because one time is okay, second time okay, you third time think about the okay.
You know,
you're afraid.
today on my way here, I was at the light. I was in front. The light turned green. I didn't go. I waited to make sure that the car stopped. Ever since that, it's already a few weeks already, and I'm a good driver. Baruch Hashem, I don't have tickets. You know, when the light turns green, I'm not the first one out the door anymore. It's not like it's a horse race.
But nobody guarantee.
You know? So sometimes, you know, you have to say almost a bracha, Baruch Shosli Nes B'Mokom Hazer. So the Sipurno says, you know, if all of a sudden an animal starts talking to you, and a person experiences this, you wake up and say, whoa, thank you Hashem. Thank you Hashem. I remember once, years ago, I was by the Kotel. I had gone to Israel, I was by the Kotel. And for whatever the reason, I was, you know, I was dealing with a lot of different things that were very, very difficult. And, you know, I almost felt like I was going to go to the Kotel, and I was going to say to Hashem, you know, why did you forget about me? How come you forgot about me? How did I drop out of sight? How did I fall between the cracks? So I'm at the Kotel Maravi. It's January. I'm on the inside of the Kotel. You know, the Kotel has this, you know, you have the outside, and you can go in, and during the winter time, it was a little chilly out, so I was on the inside. Must have been 500 people there. And I'm sitting there waiting, Shacharit, I'm going to daven Shacharit, and there's a bar mitzvah. A Sephardi bar mitzvah. Okay? Sephardi bar mitzvah. And I'm saying to myself, okay, I'm going to say some Tehillim, and I'm saying Tehillim, Hashem, you know, I'm here, why don't you remember me? Why don't you forget about me? They had a chazan. Now, maybe, I don't know if they do this. This was a Sephardi bar mitzvah. The chazan started singing a song. Do you sing songs at bar mitzvahs? No, that wasn't it. You know what song he sang? Haben Yakir Li Ephraim. Haben Yakir Li Ephraim. That means it's a song. It's from Tehillim. It's from Yeshayahu Hanavi, I think, from Yeshayahu. You know, Hashem, Yeshayahu says that Hashem is saying, I did not forget Ephraim. No matter what happens, Askas Karena, I'll remember. I'm sitting there. I just came in from America. I had just landed the night before. I was there in the morning at the Kotel. I got there like 5 a.m. I was at the Kotel about 6:30. There's a bar mitzvah. What are the chances? Hundreds of people, a chazan should sing a song that says, Ephraim, I did not forget, you'll always remember. What are the chances?
That's it.
It could happen, yeah, chances.
So you get answer.
Pretty shocking answer, right?
Yeah, right away.
Right away, pretty amazing answer. It spooks you out. You know, I've been hanging out around the Bukharis too much. It spooks you out, you know? It spooks you out. So the Sipurno says, you know, hey, Bilam, you think you're in control of the world, you think you're on top of your game, and all of a sudden an animal starts talking. It's not to embarrass you, it's to wake you up and say, hello, are you so sure you should do what you should be doing? That's what the Sipurno says. You know, that's what Rabbi Bachai says also. And he says that, you know, Rav Wolbe says that, you know, sometimes a person says, you know, by the Al Chet, it says that our feet ran to do evil. You know, Ragleinu Rotz L'Ra. So Rav Wolbe says, well, feet don't run unless the brain says it to run, or the heart. Usually, if you want to do something wrong, it's because you're thinking about it or you're feeling about it. It's not your feet. He says, sometimes a person is so angry that their feet just run by themselves. You know, sometimes a person doesn't register. Things don't register. And he says a person has to allow things to register. We have to let things register. They bring down from Rav Palm, in the end of the book of Shoftim, I'm just looking at the clock. In the end of the book of Shoftim, you know what it says? Many times in the end of Shoftim, in Navi, it says, Ein Melech B'Yisrael. There was no king. Ish Hayosher Be'inav Yaseh. People did whatever they wanted. He says that's the worst thing in the world. He says at the end of Shoftim you have the story of Pesach Micha, the story of Pilegesh Begiva, where almost all the tribe of Binyamin was destroyed. Imagine hundreds of thousands of Jews killing hundreds of thousands of Jews.
Why?
Because there's this whole story in the end of the book of Shoftim, where a particular person, gave his wife up to a bunch of lowlifes, and they raped her and they abused her, and in the end, when she came back, she died. So he said, "Look what happened," and no one's doing anything about it. Shevet Binyamin had happened it. He cut her up into 12 pieces and sent a piece to every Shevet and says, "How could you let this happen?" And Pinchas was so angry, he got together an army and they attacked Shevet Binyamin. And they said to Shevet Binyamin, "Give us the guys who did this crime." And Shevet Binyamin just wasn't ready to hand them over.
Why not?
I don't know. Maybe because they says we'll take care of it ourselves. It's our problem. Let us handle it ourselves. And Pinchas says, "No, I'm the leader. He was the Navi at that time." And he says, "No, we're going to punish them. They killed a person. We're going to kill them. We're going to punish them." And Binyamin said, "No, you cannot come in our land. This is our territory. We protect it." And Pinchas says, "You want to fight? We'll fight." And they had a war. And the first time Pinchas was not successful. The second time, the third time, decimation, total destruction. It was so bad, there was only 600 people left to Shevet Binyamin. Now imagine, a normal tribe had 100,000, 200,000 people, everybody got killed. Finally, Pinchas realized, I almost wiped out an entire tribe of Israel. Imagine, wiping out an entire Shevet B'Yisrael. And he felt terrible that he did it. And therefore these guys were spared, and then how they got married was too bad, the whole story they got married. After this was all over, you know what the Navi says? There was no king in Israel, everybody did what they wanted. So Rav Pam, you know what he said on this? He says, you know what the biggest tragedy is? A horrible thing happened. And at the end of the day, you know what everybody did? They went back home, and it was business as usual. No one even realized what a horrible thing happened. They just went back to their jobs, went back to their family, as if nothing happened. He says, that is the worst thing that could happen. In the end of Parshas Balak, after all these brachot and the korbanot and everything else, and Balak was unsuccessful, Bilam could not do the job. What does it say? It says that after it was all over, Vayokom Bilam, Vayelech, Vayoshav B'makomo. Bilam went back to his place. You know what that means? Wherever he was in life, he went right back to where he was. Nothing, he did not change at all. He didn't go back home and say, boy, what just happened? I tried, I failed. Let me think about the last few weeks. God spoke to me through a donkey. I tried 3 times to curse the people, I only blessed the people. Maybe there's a message here. Maybe I have to be a different person. Didn't change. It says, he came back to his place. V'gam Balak, holach ledarko. Balak went back, business as usual. Balak didn't say to himself, what happened here? I hired the most powerful Navi, and he failed. I was not successful. Maybe there's a message here. Maybe I shouldn't fight the Jewish people. Maybe I should make peace with them. Maybe we should become partners. Maybe I should go into business with them. After the entire story, Balak and Bilam learned zero, nothing. You know, a person goes, chas v'shalom, gets a heart attack, and he survives. What does he learn from that? Life is precious. Maybe I should be nicer to my wife, nicer to my children, nicer to my grandchildren. You know, life teaches us lessons. What is scary, what is really, really scary, is the fact that Balak and Bilam learned nothing. At the end of Shoftim, what did they learn from this? Nothing. Business as usual.
Why the parasha name is Balak? And
So,
I have too many questions, 2 questions. One of them,